Alright guys, so here we go for the start of F1 2017 career mode. I'm really looking forward to doing this series, and to start off with, as you can see, we are just creating our helmet design for this season and filling out the rest of the information, like my nationality, which is Dutch, and my racing number, which is of course going to be number 69. No, I'm just kidding, I'm going to go with 93 like always. And just filling out the rest of the information, like my first name, my surname, my abbreviation and stuff like that. So after that we will be choosing our team, which we're going to drive for at least the first season of this F1 2017 career mode. So as you saw there, I choose Toro Rosso to start my F1 2017 career mode with, alongside Daniel Kvyat. And here you can see now the race settings up on screen. So we'll be doing a full qualifying, 50% race, ultimate AI, no assists, simulation damage, and yeah, everything like that. So yeah, that's it in terms of the settings. I think it's time to head off to our first Grand Prix in Australia. But before we go into FP1, we will be having a talk with Emma Jenkins, talking us through the contracts and everything like that. So as you can see here, talking with Emma about our driver status and our contract for the season ahead. And we're not gonna muck around here. I'm just gonna cut to the chase and get to the interesting stuff at the Australian Grand Prix straight away, starting off here in practice.
We're about to join the action in what is sure to be an interesting practice session here in Melbourne. It's not long until we get the session underway, and we'll have some cars appearing out on the track.
Alright, so here we are then in FP1 for the first round of the season, driving out of the garage for the first time in this career mode. So we're gonna start off doing the track acclimatization here in Friday practice. As you can see here, coming up to the line to end our very first flying lap of this career mode, coming up to the line, and we actually get a green score there for the track acclimatization. So I pushed on for the second lap, trying to get the purple score as we now open the DRS, coming up to the line on our second lap of this session, and we still get the green score. So now on my final lap, I pushed a little bit harder and went through the gates a little bit better, as you can see on the top of your screen, having pretty much all the gates in purple, and we get the purple score there in our third lap. So yeah, that's a nice start to the weekend, getting the purple score in the track acclimatization program. Now after that I returned back into the pits, and yeah, as you can see, the team is now pushing us back into the garage. And after that I went out again for the tire wear test and the fuel management program, and I actually managed to get a purple score in both of those practice programs already after the first lap. And now moving on to the qualifying pace program, I get a green score on my first lap, which is okay, but I wanted to push on for a purple score. So yeah, as you can see, the delta on the top right is now based off of the purple score. I'm currently in the red a little bit, but I can tell you that at the end of the second and third lap I wasn't able to beat the purple score. So yeah, for now we'll have to deal with getting the green score in that tire wear program. So yeah, now moving on to the race strategy program, which is actually quite an interesting one. We are having to yeah, kind of save the tires and save the fuel and be quick at the same time, kind of doing a race simulation yeah, for the team to get data to use for the race ahead. You can see I had a bit of oversteer there on the exit of the final corner, and my delta is just about in the red as I now come up to the line. So we get a red score on the first lap of the race strategy program, and of course we need to do 3 laps in the green. So now on my second lap I managed to get the green score there, luckily. So we need to do 2 more laps in the green in order to get purple for that. But you can see in the top right that there's only a few minutes remaining in this session, so I was cutting it quite close here with the time. You can see now in my second lap I get a green score as well. And now moving on to the final lap of the race strategy program, currently coming through the penultimate corner of the final sector. Now coming through the final corner, trying to get a good exit there, all out of the final corner, opening up the DRS now for the run to the line. The session time has expired as we now come up to the line, and we managed to get a green score there once again. And so at the end of FP1 we end up in 8th place. So yeah, that's pretty good for the start of the weekend to end up in 8th place in FP1. And yeah, as you can see there, the full results. So Kimi Raikkonen went fastest with Sebastian Vettel in 2nd and Lewis Hamilton in 3rd. After that I went back to the paddock and got introduced by Chris to the resource points and the development and everything like that. As you can see here, he set up a desk for me, and yeah, those are the resource points I earned after FP1. So We currently have over 1,000 research points, I think. So yeah, I'm looking to spend that on my first upgrade of this career mode. Actually, I have over 2,000. So we're gonna develop the powertrain here, getting the upgrade, which is gonna cost us about 1,000 resource points. So yeah, that's the first upgrade of the season on the way straight away after FP1. So then moving into FP2, I made some changes to the setup, because so far in this weekend all of the running in FP1 I did on the default setup, which actually felt really good. But yeah, I decided to change it up a little bit to try to make us a little bit faster. Also because the team objective was that I had to do like 2 different runs with a different setup. So yeah, as you can see now, driving by my teammate, I'm doing the race strategy program again for a second time, because the team also wanted me to do the race strategy program on 2 different tire compounds. So in FP1 I did it on the super softs, and now in FP2 I'm doing it on the soft tire. So yeah, having a bit of a tow there of our teammate Daniel Cafiat as we now come up to the line. This time getting the green score straight away on our first lap, and yeah, on my second and third lap I pushed on. I managed to get the green score for that. So yeah, that's a purple score overall for the race strategy program and all the team objectives as well. As you can see, just driving by my teammate here for that first part of FP2. Now later on in FP2 I decided to try the race or the qualifying pace program once again, because as you may remember, I got the green score for that in FP1, and I really wanted to get the purple score for that, just to have purple for every single practice session and have all the team objective as well. So I was pretty committed in this session to get the purple score. But as you can see, again I get the green score on my first lap, and I pushed on my second lap trying to get into that purple zone, and you can see the delta now is in the red, which means that I'm in the green score, but I'm slightly slower than the purple score. So I really try to push as much as I can. I thought maybe with the new setup I have on now, maybe with the adjusted wings and everything, I may go a little bit faster. But yeah, so far it's been really difficult to break into that purple zone. As you can see, getting another green score there at the end of my second lap. And so again, I tried it in my third lap, but I wasn't able to in the end, because on my third lap I actually called up to Felipe Massa there in the Williams, which hold me up a little bit, as you can see there, being a little bit too close. And yeah, I couldn't really carry the speed I wanted through the corner. So I got a green score again in my third lap. So yeah, that's the end of FP2. Yeah, I think we've managed to get some pretty good data in FP1 and FP2, getting 11th place here in FP2, so 8th and 11th in Friday practice. That's pretty good, I think, and it's definitely looking quite good for qualifying. Then I got introduced to my new rival, which is going to be Daniel Cafiat. Of course, at the start of your career mode, it's always going to be your teammates.
Hi, how are you? I'm just passing on your qualifying goals for this weekend.
Alright, so there's Emma with the team goals, or the qualifying goals for this weekend. We need to qualify 13th or above and beat our teammate Daniel Cafiat. So yeah, we'll be looking to do that. Of course, we're doing a full qualifying, so yeah, let's go.
Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly.
So here we are then in qualifying 1. As you can see, the tour also here up on screen. And also the Sauber team, they're getting ready in the form of Marcus Ericsson. But yeah, we're doing the full qualifying, so we have 18 minutes here in qualifying 1. As you can see, this is, I think, Marcus Ericsson doing some adjustments on his tablet there, maybe refining the setup a little bit, because of course park family rules are on. So after the car has left the garage in Q1, you aren't allowed to change the setup after that, apart from the front wing, of course. So this is now my first flying lap in Q1. The goal, like I said, is to finish 13th or above, but to do that we of course first need to get out of Q1 and into Q2 to yeah, get into the top 15 to qualify in the top 13. So yeah, this is my first flying lap, I think. Yeah, it's the first flying lap. Currently coming through the final sector, coming through this really nice quick right-hander, and now the penultimate and final corner. Really tricky corner this. It's very easy to lose the backhand here. On the exit you really need to modulate the throttle out of that final corner as you now open the DRS and come up to the line to end our very first lap of this qualifying session. And we go provisionally P10, I think it is. And now on my second lap, I pushed on the second lap. As you can see, the delta is currently green, which means I'm going underneath my personal best time. coming through the middle sector at the moment, and now cutting a little bit ahead, now coming through the quick left-right chicane in 7th gear. This corner feels really nice on this year's game, really flying through that chicane corner there. Now coming up to the final sector of the circuit, braking just after the 100 meter boat, back down into 4th gear, trying to run that wide onto the curbs, and now ending my 2nd lap of this session. We improve our time, and then on my 3rd lap I still pushed on because I fueled up the car to actually do quite a few laps on my first run here, just to build up my speed and build up my consistency a little bit. So now braking down into the 3rd corner once again, back into 3rd gear. The delta is currently in the red a little bit. I think it's less than a 10 behind. Yeah, it flickers to the green there briefly, but now back into the red again. So I'm pretty much on my time set on my previous lap. As we are now braking down into turn 6, still going red into the first sector split. Although the delta time is flickering towards the green there a little bit. I think we're only like 100 of a second behind. Now we're actually in the green there. So yeah, really trying to push on this lap to get an improvement on my lap, to try and get ourselves out of the danger zone out of Q1. We're currently in 11th position, so we are safe currently, because of course you need to finish in the top 15 to progress through into Q2, but it's only early on in the session, so it's very likely for the AI to improve, especially towards the end of the session, where track evolution also you know, gets influenced on your lap time. So currently coming through the penultimate corner, I lost a little bit of time there in comparison to my previous lap. So now my delta is in the red, and now coming up to the line, we didn't get the best of exit, I don't think, out of that corner, and actually we don't improve now coming up to the line. So that was a little bit disappointing. It doesn't really matter, because it only would have been a very slight improvement either way. So now I was actually waiting for Felipe Massa now to get through, because that Williams is very quick in a straight line, and I wanted to kind of benefit from that and use a bit of slipstream from the car in front to start my 5th lap already of the session. I had a bit of a cool down lap, but I still had just about enough fuel to do a 5th lap in this first run. So of course the tires are starting to go off a little bit now. They have seen their best, but yeah, still I try to push on, and so far it's working. The slipstream, I'm currently green in the delta time, but we are currently in P13, so we are getting closer to that danger zone as we're now coming through the first sector. Let's see by how much we improve. I think it's like 1 or 2 tenths. I can't read it because my edit screen is a little bit too small, but yeah, now we've actually dropped to P14, so we're now only 1 position away from getting knocked down out of Q1. But yeah, coming through turn 8 there, pretty nice. Now trying to get as close to the wall as possible, but at the end of the lap I again did improve. I think I again lost a little bit of time into the final sector, and now on my 6th lap it seems like I'm still pushing on. Currently we are now in the danger zone. We're in 17th place. But this is only already my 6th lap of the session, still trying to just get the most out of this first run. Have you ever seen somebody do a 6-lap run in Q1? I don't think you've ever seen it in other career modes. If you have, then let me know. But still improving on my 6th lap despite the tires. Of course, the ultra soft tires are wearing pretty quickly. I think they're well past 20% now, but still I'm somehow improving, just gaining confidence and gaining well, of course the fuel load is going down as well, so we'll have a little bit of oversteer there on the exit of the final corner. This time we will improve though, as we now come up to the line and we go provisionally, I think it's P13, so we are out of the danger zone now. That was a pretty big improvement actually. Yeah, P13 now, I think we just about have enough time to do another run. I'm actually not quite sure. I can't see the timer because it's a little bit too small again. But yeah, breaking down for the pit lane now, trying to practice the pit lane entry for the race, because of course we don't want to get a penalty for that. As we now get pushed back into the Toro Rosso garage now, as we get the monitor on top of our car and getting the tire blackens onto the tires. I don't really care about that, to be honest, just get me out. I think we didn't have time to go out again. Or have we? I can't see the timer. I think we might have enough time, so yeah, I'm getting the tablet again, changing the fuel load, changing the tires. I think I might be able to get 1 more lap in to ensure myself of this yeah, Q2 spot, because my goal is to get into Q2. Of course, Emma said to us before this session that we need to qualify in 13th or above, and it looks like I am going out again. Apologies for the commentary. It's been like, this race was like a month ago or even more, so I can't remember what happened But yeah, we are going out of the garage now. I think there's like 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining, so it's gonna be very, very tight here to still make it on time. But it looks like at the end, we are now coming through the final corner to start our first lap of the session. And we just ran out of time. I actually didn't even know that. We just ran out of time, so that was very unfortunate. But where did we end up? It's actually 15th place, so that is very, very close. And we almost got knocked out of qualifying 1. So 15th place, just squeezing through into Q2 by the skin of our teeth. So yeah, this is now into qualifying 2. Of course, we have 50 minutes in this session as we now drive out of the pit lane to start our very first lap of the session. Of course, I'm not expecting to make it into Q3. I'm just wanting to get into that top 13 to exceed the team's expectations. So yeah, I already completed my first lap, currently in 13th place, and now on my second lap coming through the penultimate corner, I'm improving my time, having a green delta time as you now come out of the final corner and open the DRS as we now come up to the line. I think we will be doing our fastest lap of the weekend so far, and we go provisionally into P8 there, so that's very positive to see. Of course, if you want to progress through into Q3, you need to be in the top 10, but I'm not expecting that from this session. So yeah, I think after doing 2 laps in this session, I'm gonna go out again for my second and probably final run of this session. So yeah, here we are now on my second lap and my second run and my third lap of this session. Currently we have dropped to P9, but we are still in the safe zone to get through into Q3. And you can see at the end of my third lap there, I wasn't able to improve. And now on my fourth lap, I wanted to continue on, but we get blocked there, getting held up by Nico Hulkenberg coming out of the pit lane to start his final run there. So I backed out of this lap, just like in Q1. My fourth lap is just a cool down lap. I'm letting Sergio Perez go through there. And now I'm trying to find some free space on the track to start my final lap probably of this session. And looks like we have got some right here. So I don't want any cars in front of me. I don't care about slipstream at this point. I just want to have some clean air in front of me and don't have any problems with that. So yeah, coming through the first couple of corners now, still we are in P9. So hopefully, I mean, if we would be able to progress into Q3, I would be very happy indeed. And I really can't ask for more. So now coming through turn 4. Pretty well so far, not perfect though, because we are currently red on our delta, and as I say that, we actually go back into the green. So yeah, that's pretty interesting right there. We go green into the first sector, so now breakdown for turn 6, I think it is. Now coming through turn 7, this right-hander. The session time has now expired, so yeah, the timer has hit 0, so this will certainly be our final lap. Just trying to improve my lap time to ensure my position into Q3, because you never know, even after the flag has fallen, you know, the AI can still improve. So now coming through that really quick left-right chicane, we managed to negotiate that quite well, I think, as we now break just between the 50 and 100 meter board for the start of the final sector. They're now flying through this right-hander in 5th gear, trying to run it out as much as we can onto the curbs. Now breaking down into the penultimate corner, very much a traction zone through here. Very easy to lose the back end as we maybe get some slight slipstream now from the car in front as we now come up to the line. We're currently in position 11, and as we come up to the line, where do we end up? It's P11 there. So yeah, we didn't manage to get into Q3, but I am not complaining. I'm really happy about that qualifying session, because well, if you think about it, P11 is pretty much the perfect position to start from in this case, because we have met the team objectives. So we've got some extra resource points for that, as you can see here. We've beaten our teammate as well, which is also our rival. And because we are one position away from making it into Q3, that means that we will be able to start the race on fresh tires, and we also have the option to choose whatever tires we want. So yeah, P11, I'm really happy about that. In fact, I couldn't be happier. I mean, I'm more happy with P11 than I would be with P8 or P9 or P10 or something like that.
Hey, how are you? I have some information on the race goals you should keep in mind.
Alright, so there we have the team goals for this upcoming first race of the season. The goal is to finish 13th or above, and also the team would like me to beat my teammate Daniel Kvyat, as well as placing 13th in the championship for this season in the Drivers' Championship. But of course we have a long way to go, 20 rounds in this season, so yeah, here we are then in Australia. Very nice conditions here to race. It has been dry all weekend, which I certainly like. And yeah, we'll be looking to have a dry race as well here at round 1. As we can see, Valtteri Bottas here, the poleman, looking to start his season on a high today. And here we can see Sergio Perez as well getting ready for the race. But yeah, without further ado, let's take a look at the starting grid.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Raikkonen, Daniel Ricciardo, and Verstappen, Massa, Hülkenberg, Ocon, and Sergio Perez. A Toro Rosso, Stroll, Romain Grosjean, and Magnussen, Kvyat, Palmer, Fernando Alonso, and Stoffel van Dorn. Wehrlein and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Excellent job yesterday. We qualified above expectations. Let's go out there and put in a performance.
Thank you very much, Jeff. We'll be certainly trying to do that today. But yeah, here we can see the strategy now. I'm getting an introduction because it was the first time for me doing a race on this game. Yeah, you can see there the weather is showing that it will be dry for the entire duration of this race. It's looking to be a one-stop, starting on the super softs and then going onto the softs around just before halfway of this race. So here we go. Yeah, for the formation lap now. Like I said, this was my first race on this game, so I'm getting all those tutorials and stuff because yeah, this was my first race weekend, also my first time doing the formation lap on F1 2017, so yeah, that was quite interesting. Of course, we were looking to yeah, warm up everything, warm up the tires, warm up the engine, maybe try to warm up yourself as well to try and get into your rhythm as we start the race. As you can see us now weaving on the straight to try and get as much temperature as possible into the tires, as we're now parking up into our grid slots just a few moments away from the 5 lights to go on, and then we'll be on the way for the first race of this championship. So here we go then on the grid. 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we hold the clutch and the lights are out and away we go now. Lights were on for an absolute age there, but we're looking to get a good start here. We're getting a better start than Esteban Ocon there in front of us as we now go up the inside into turn 1. Let's try to get here through here clean. We don't want any front wing damage or anything like that in this first corner. So we're now up into P9, so we've managed to gain 2 positions off the start. Now coming into turn 3, trying to break down here as late as we dare. We almost hit the back of the Red Bull and the Williams there, as we lose the back end a little bit there on the exit. But yeah, the thing I wished for has come through, which is getting through the start without any damage. So we are in 8th position now, so very good start. We've managed to gain 3 positions from our grid slot. I can't even talk. So from P11 to P8 now as we now come through turn 5. Now skipping a little bit ahead now, this is now the beginning of lap 2, coming through this straight here now, breaking down for turn 3. We have a little bit of a look here up the inside of Felipe Massa, but the door closes there. I had to back out of it, and so we maintain P8 for now. But a lot of drivers in front of us are actually on the ultra soft tires, so it's very important for us now to keep up with them and maybe even try to overtake them, because if we can do that, then we'll be in a very good position for the rest of this race, because we will be able to go longer into this first stint on our harder compound of tires. So now going up the inside of Felipe Massa here, diving it down, almost avoiding action move there. We actually get tagged on the left rear there, and we almost lose the back end there into the wall. And Felipe Massa, with his Williams car, Mercedes powered of course, gets the upper hand now onto the straight, and we just have to tuck in behind him now, because you don't want to make a move into the chicane here. It's only a one-line corner. But now in the slipstream of the Williams driver, now maybe trying to go up the inside into turn 14, trying to outbraking him, squeezing him out on the exit, going out wide over the curbs, and that's job done for P7. So yeah, after 2 laps already 4 spots gained from our grid slot, and we're now up into P7, breaking down for the penultimate corner. Now we now have our compatriot Max Verstappen in front of us, as Sebastian Vettel sets the fastest lap there, so that means that he's leading the race, considering it's only lap 2. So coming through lap 3 now, this is the beginning of the first sector, trying to yeah, make up for our squabbling with Felipe Massa, because of that battling we did the 1 lap ago. We lost a little bit of touch with the front group, but now I'm trying to recover from that and catch up to the rest of the field again. We're now getting closer to the back of Max Verstappen again, who is getting held up by the car in front of him, it seems, as we now come over the line to start lap 4 of this race now, breaking down into the first corner, still in P7, and after a few laps probably the Ultrasoft are starting to come in for their first pit stop, but of course we can go longer on our super soft tires. So now breaking down into turn 3, we are maybe having a little bit of a look up the inside of Verstappen there, but of course we weren't close enough, a bit over 0 on the exit there, but nothing too bad. So just settling into this race, of course, also trying to get used to the heavy fuel and everything like that, trying to get into the rhythm on the start of this race. Now breaking down for the first sector for turn 6, I think it is, now into turn 7 here, this right hander. Then we'll be coming off to turn 8, where we'll be looking to brake after the 100 meter bot here, break down into third gear there. We are getting right up to the gearbox of Max Verstappen there. I'm almost changing gear for him, that's how close I was to the back of his car there. But now skipping a little bit ahead to later on into lap 4, now coming through the final sector, trying to hit the apex here of this corner and keeping touch yeah, of the Red Bull in front of us, because of course in the dirty air it's sometimes a little bit difficult to stay right behind the car in front of you. But of course the benefit from having a car in front of you is the slipstream, which we'll be using onto the straight there, and also we get the DRS because we're within 1 second that DRS has been enabled on this lap. So yeah, coming through the first corner now, braking just after the 100 meter bot, back down into 4th gear. I think you can take it in 5th gear as well, but with heavy fuel it's better to take it in 4th. So now opening the DRS onto the straight. I think we're a little bit too far back now to make a move into turn 3, but actually we dive to the inside. We almost touched there, but I think we managed to make that move pretty cleanly there, and now we're up into P6. I will admit that move was very, very aggressive. And it wasn't really my intention, if I remember correctly. I think it was a bit of avoiding action there, but anyway, we get through into P6. I think it was a little bit faster anyway, and now catching up to Kimi Räikkönen in the Ferrari. We have a yellow flag there. There's a car going slowly. I couldn't quite tell who it was, but I think it might be someone with a puncture or something like that, or maybe a mechanical issue. Anyway, he was going very slowly and his race is not looking very good. But anyway, we carry on, green flags again, so we are yeah, back to racing speed again. Now coming through the final corner now on lap 5, we'll be opening up lap 6 of this race as we now come over the line. I think we are still in position 6, so yes we are. So no runners in front of us have made a pit stop yet, but I think they will be doing that pretty soon. Now coming over the straight again, opening the DRS in the slipstream of, did I say Kimi Räikkönen? It's actually Daniel Ricciardo, as our teammate is now in the pits actually, so he is making a very early stop. He must have started on the ultra soft tires, Daniel Kvyat, but yeah, we have Daniel Ricciardo in front of us. Of course, he's having his home Grand Prix here in Australia, now breaking down for turn 6 again on the start of the second sector. And yeah, trying to keep up with the Australian Daniel Ricciardo. Of course, he is in the faster Red Bull car, but yeah, with the help of a bit of a tow, we will probably be able to stay with him for the first part of this race. Now on lap 6 still, now coming through, there's a long left-hander coming up to the quick left-right chicane. Of course, a very tricky one. We have Max Verstappen behind us, who's also looking to make a move there. He was making a very aggressive dart to the outside there, maybe trying to scare us off a little bit, but we get a very good exit out of the final part of the chicane there. We now go up the inside of Daniel Ricciardo and we try to squeeze him out a little bit there on the exit, a bit aggressive, but we make the move into P5 now. So from P11 to P5 in 6 laps time. That's very good, and it's very good to see that we're making progress in this race and that we're actually overtaking the ultra soft runners in this race. So yeah, now this is 1 lap later. We're now on the end of lap 7. There is someone out of the race. I couldn't see who it was. We have yellow flags as well in front of us, but we now move up into P4 as somebody made a pit stop, and we also had a brief virtual safety car because of that incident somewhere behind us. Yeah, I think someone crashed out or something like that, and because of that we had some yeah, maybe some debris on the track, which had to be cleared away with the virtual safety car. And then now we go back up into racing speed. Now onto the end of lap 9. I moved to the inside to break the slipstream from Max Verstappen, who also started on the ultra soft tires. Actually, we still have Vettel in front of us, who is on the super soft, but hasn't made a pit stop yet. So we're now up into P2 now, so we're on the podium positions. Of course not effectively, because a lot of drivers who started on the ultra softs have made our first pit stop now, but it's very nice to see that we're in a podium position for once. There's yellow flags behind us, and now S1R1 is actually out of the race, so let's see what happened here. yeah, he doesn't really have, yeah, he just parks up to the right hand side of the track on the grass there, and it seems to be a mechanical failure for him, so that's a very disappointing start for the season for the Frenchman. So yeah, he's out of the race. We carry on now with 18 runners left. There wasn't a virtual safety car or anything like that because he parked up in a very safe spot. So now skipping ahead to lap 11 of this race now, and as you can see in the top left there, we have now moved into the lead of the race because yeah, everyone around us has made their first pit stop, so we are now leading the race. Of course, like I said, not effectively because we still have to make our first stop, but it's nice to just see a P1 on your screen when you look at the top left, and to actually feel like you are actually in the lead of the race. Bit of oversteer there on the exit as we now come through the final couple of corners, now breaking down into the penultimate corner. I decided to make my pit stop at the end of this lap to just a pretty good race, and those are the career mode score and resource points we got after the race. So yeah, that's very nice to see. After that, I had a talk with Jonathan, who is introducing me to the classic car events, and yeah, inviting me to those sessions, and talking about that I have to bring the car back in one piece and stuff like that, which of course we'll be looking to do. But yeah, so after that I got my first invitational event. I decided to pick the one in Spain where we have the I think it's the Pursuit race or something like that. Well, anyway, we have some slower cars in front of us which we'll need to catch up. And so here we are then in the 2006 Renault, I think it is, or something like that. Might be 2007, I don't know. But anyway, the 5 lights are going on now, and they are out, and away we go from P5 of this race. So yeah, let's see how this car handles and if we can win the race, because the objective is to win the race if we want to pass this invitational event. So now coming through the first corner here in Suzuka, of course we're doing the short layout today as we have a bit of oversteer there on the exit of the first corner there. Now coming through those really nice S's here in this classic car. Now going right for this right hander and then turning left. Of course we're doing the short layout, so we will turning right here, and that will also already be the final corner of the track. Already catching up to P4 there on the straight now. Bit of a slide there out of the final corner as you now open up lap 2. We only have 3 laps in this race, so we need to hurry up a bit if we want to win this race and pass the invitational event objective. So now breaking down into the first corner once again, trying to brake as late as we dare now. Trying to find a perfect lock. Bit of a slide there on the exit. Maybe go up the inside of the Williams there, and we make the move down into P4. So again, bit of a slide there. You will be seeing me slide around a lot in this car because yeah, it's just very tempting to do. And yeah, the back end is this car is very tail happy. So moving up the inside now of that car there, and now we move up into P3. Let's see how the straight line speed is of this car as you now open up the final lap of this race, looking to go up the inside. Well, I think it's a Ferrari car now. Yeah, looking to go up the inside into turn 1 and trying to outbraking now. And we just squeezed up the inside there, and he had to leave us the space. Now we move up into P2. So we have just one car in front of us. So let's see if we can catch him on this final lap here to win this race. It looks like we are much faster here through this S section of the track. Now going up the inside, and that is the lead of this race. So yeah. It looks like we'll be passing this objective, and in the end we did there. So yeah, that's some extra career score to add to our career mode. I don't really care about career score. I don't think anybody does, to be honest. But yeah, it's a nice little change to do something like that. So yeah, that's been the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed. It's a very long video, over 32 minutes, I know. I promise that the future episodes will be a little bit faster paced, but because this was the first episode, we had to go through, you know, all the practice sessions and everything like that. This video is very long, so yeah, I'm not gonna ramble on any longer. That's the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.